political girl, Adeola, I don't even know where to start.
The problem about the cattle rearers and herders, I don't think people should underrate what happened in Libya. 43 years of Gaddafi, people were recruited from the Sahel. They were taught nothing other than to shoot and kill.
My dear, why do you have to play the video like that? I was not ready. I was still getting ready mentally. Don't you know this is not just an embarrassment? This one is an international embarrassment, and you just played the video like that. You know, Gaddafi must be turning in his grave.
We are doing our best.
There we go again with the lies. If you are not from Nigeria, by the way, please know that Nigerian president is not doing anything to stop the killings by herdsmen. Between January and April of this year alone, more than 1,000 villages have been attacked by these herdsmen. More than 1,000 villages, as in they were going from village to village, and you are telling the world that you are doing your best. And at least 100,000 people have been displaced.
The state most concerned, they knew that the Nigerian herders never carried anything more than a stick and occasionally a machete to cut down foliage and give it to their animals.
Wait, do you smell something? Is he saying something else? Yeah, it must be the lights. Ooh, excuse me 1 minute.
President Buhari, I want to ask you, you're the first leader from sub-Saharan Africa to visit President Trump here at the White House. Did you address his reported comments from earlier this year when he reportedly used vulgar language to describe African nations?
Oh, this must be good. This is going to be good. Get me popcorn. What do you mean there is no popcorn?
I'm very careful with what the press says about others and myself. I'm not sure about, the validity or whether that allegation against the president was true or not. So the best thing for me is to keep quiet.
Baba Buhari, father. Okay, so I'm a little bit confused because when Trump allegedly called African countries shithole countries, excuse my language, the African Union released a memo. They condemned the statement and they even demanded for an apology from Trump. But when the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, met with Trump, he did not say anything about the shithole comment, okay? And I'm like, that's weird. But now Buhari also met with Trump and he said he's not sure whether the comment is true, so it's best to shut up. I'm like, who is actually demanding for apology in the name of African Union? Is this how all African presidents will meet with Trump one by one and they will not talk about the comment? You see, this is how they suck up to Big Daddy. They have no liver, all these African presidents. They have no liver, except Mugabe, of course, which is why we miss him. They have no liver because they always have to come and beg for something. So can you blame him? Can you blame Buhari? The man came to beg Trump for helicopter. Honestly, African presidents are always acting like beggars. They never think of being self-sufficient when it comes to basic things. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't trade with the world, but they don't think about developing their own countries or manufacturing their own equipment. They always think about how to receive, not how to trade. Very soon I'll talk about Jakarta Steel Company in Nigeria. But do you guys know that Nigeria has all it needs to manufacture helicopters, to build planes, to build skyscrapers, and manufacture weapons? Yes, we have everything that we need. I know that these things take time to develop, but they are not doing any work towards it. There's no projection that, in the next 3 years, this is what we'll be doing, this is what we'll be making. There is nothing like that. We always have to go and beg.
Nigeria is in their need of the Tucano aircraft to tackle the problem back home. Will you be kind enough to release at least 2 before 2020?
Excuse me, Auntie Juliana. It's nice seeing you. Let me look here in case you're watching. I do. First of all, I will not make fun of your hand that was shaking. Don't mind enemies of progress. They have no idea what it's like to be a journalist. In fact, the fact that your hand was shaking tells me that you've not been given enough opportunities to do something like this. As a matter of fact, I blame it on the president. He never holds press conference. The last time he had a media chat with a few journalists was in 2015. It's going to 3 years now. How can you call yourself president and not hold press conference periodically? In fact, it is usually when the man is outside the country that he takes questions. Have you noticed? And then when other presidents come to visit Nigeria, he doesn't allow journalists to ask them questions. They don't organize anything like that. Like when Paul Biya visited Nigeria, and it's not just Buhari, by the way, all Nigerian presidents, they don't do press conference. Well, they don't do it, So I can understand my sister. In this situation, she wasn't just facing Buhari. American president was also there, and she had not been practicing firing questions at Buhari. So why would her hand shake? So all of you that are making fun of Auntie Julia, God knows your address. Go and park somewhere. So now that I have defended your shaking hand, my sister, that's your question.
Nigeria is in their need of the Tucano aircraft to tackle the problem back home.
Okay, first of all, we are not in their need of any helicopter. America, please listen to this. We are not in their need of any helicopter. We are in their need of a true leader that truly cares about the lives of his people. One community buried more than 70 people in one day, and the president did not show up there. He doesn't need that helicopter to be there. He doesn't need these helicopters to send soldiers to go after the herdsmen that are killing people. And we don't need helicopters for him to act like a normal human being that actually knows the value of life. So many wives, so many husbands, fathers, children have been butchered like they were animals. Thousands of people have lost limbs. He doesn't need helicopter to declare these people terrorists and go after them. So can we stop with the whole idea of we are not in their need of any helicopter? Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, this is just between me and you.
Will you be kind enough to release at least 2 before 2020?
In case you're watching, so the way you asked that question though made some people enemies of progress. It made some people think that maybe it was Buhari's people that told you to ask that question, thinking that it will speed up the process of America releasing the helicopter. Not me, by the way. I'm just saying that these are what some enemies of progress are saying. Remember that as journalists, we don't make fun of each other.
In terms of corruption, Nigeria has a reputation, as you understand very well, for very massive corruption. I also know that the president has been able to cut that down very substantially.
Trump, stay in one lane. Stop doing like this, The same mouth said Nigeria has a reputation. The same mouth said corruption has reduced.
It's doing like this. It's doing like this.
Thank you, Daddy, my father. Of course, you were there. You saw everything.
Well, I would like to visit Nigeria. I'd like very much to visit Nigeria. It's an amazing country, and in certain ways, I hear from the standpoint of the beauty of a country, there's no country more beautiful.
Okay, that's it. I give up. I'll see you guys later. Trump, let me come back. Everybody knows that American president likes to make stuff up. Even Nigerians have issues with that, your statement. Mr. Trump. Yes, Nigeria is beautiful. We have beautiful places. We have nice roads and running water, most especially where our politicians live. But saying that there is no country more beautiful, the devil is a liar. How do you know? Forget about Nigeria. Has the man been to Africa at all? He has never been to Africa. Okay, never mind. We're supposed to say things like Nigerians are very beautiful people. A lot of Nigerian doctors are saving the lives of Americans here in America. We are very creative. We are very smart. We have beautiful cultural wares. I know that sometimes we can be loud. That's okay. But for you to say that there is no country more beautiful when our leaders are sabotaging the beauty harbor, Trump,
The United States import of crude oil from Nigeria has considerably gone down. Did you discuss the need for the U.S. to increase its import of crude oil from Nigeria?
My brother, so nice meeting you. Thank you so much for your question. Let me look at it in case you're watching. You want Buhari to beg America to go back to buying oil from Nigeria? Okay, no offense in case you're watching, my brother. Do you know that Norway is getting rid of vehicles that are using petrol by 2025? That is in 7 years' time. Do you know that Germany is doing the same thing by 2030? That is in 12 years' time. So is the Netherlands, China, UK, France, even India. You know, do you know that all these countries also buy from Nigeria? America used to be our biggest buyer, and now it is India. And by 2030, only electric cars would be sold in India. So the fact that you wanted Buhari to discuss buying petrol with Trump shows that we're not looking ahead. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Nigerians and our government now. It shows that we're not looking ahead and we're not preparing for the inevitable. The rest of the world is moving away from fossil fuel, and Nigeria refuses to diversify its economy. We're still shouting oil money, oil money. Even Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil producer, announced to the world that they now have a plan to diversify their economy. I was thinking maybe some other time that question could have been something like, Mr. President, America is no longer buying oil from us. Several countries that are buying right now have also announced that very soon they're moving away from depending on oil. What are you doing to diversify our economy before we lose all our customers? Besides agriculture, by the way, I know that we are investing in agriculture, but besides that, when would we invest in technology? But having said that, I'm not saying that you didn't do a good job, my brother in the Lord. Thank you very much for asking that question. So as usual, I like to hear from you guys. What do you think about Buhari's meeting with Trump? Please put your observation in the comments below. You guys know I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Moving on to Zimbabwe, what is going on with the new president? My people, let me hear from you. Now that Mugabe is no longer in power, people thought they could protest a lot of things that they've been coping with for years. So in March, doctors went on strike because a lot of them, especially the junior workers, get paid about $329 in a month. What can you do with that?
Earning $329 in a month. I, as a junior doctor, am not able actually to pay for my medication to Parenya to a hospital or in Mpilo hospital in case I fall ill, let alone that of my family.
Depending on your rank, some of them make $5 an hour, some literally make $1.50 an hour, and that's just wrong. So they also protested poor working conditions. For the doctors, within a matter of weeks, they came to an agreement with the government. The government increased their salaries to $7.50 per hour and about $1,200 a month for junior doctors. But then nurses decided to go on strike as well. They were protesting shortage of equipment, shortage of drugs, poor working environment.
The hospital is non-existent. There are no medications. We, the people, have to buy each and everything that we have to use in Parenyatwa.
And of course, they are low salary. Apparently, there are nurses in Zimbabwe that make $284 per month. I'm like, what? The devil is a liar.
As a nurse, I expect to send my child to an A school, but they just go to a B school because I cannot afford with my salary. I have to do something else so that I get more income for my children.
But guess what happened when they went on strike? The government fired them 16,000 nurses, threatening to replace them with retired and unemployed nurses.
For someone to retire, it means that person is no longer fit for work. So it becomes very unfair for you to call back that person 10 years later.
Legally, our contracts cannot be terminated through a television announcement. If the government feels that the strike action is not legal, then that's unfortunate.
How do you fire 16,000 nurses? I was shocked. I was like, with the new president, they can do that? Like, for real? Like, what? Needless to say, the nurses went back to work shortly after that without reaching any agreement with the government, although they are still dialoguing. I just don't think that's fair to the nurses. If you live in Zimbabwe or you're from Zimbabwe, how is the new president doing? And what did he say about how the nurses were treated? Are things better with Mugabe gone or not? Let me know what you think. You guys don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. So did you guys hear the big news from Kenya? Father. Okay, you didn't hear it from me, but apparently a deputy governor was caught pants down. Actually, well, completely naked. With a woman who was also completely naked. I'm like, what? And it wasn't his wife, by the way. So the video went viral in Kenya. Don't even think about playing it on. You do not play that video on this show. I have kids that are watching my show, so go and park somewhere. So then the man released a statement. The deputy governor, he released a statement claiming that he was set off.
There is a creek of gangsters that is targeting politicians and those people whom they think have money for purposes of extortion. I am such a victim. I was set up by the same crooks. The one thing I want to thank God for is that I'm alive.
Okay, so before you say anything, let me let you know that apparently this lady in the video actually blackmails people. So this is not her first time. After getting them comfortable and naked with her, she would take pictures or video and ask for money. And if they don't pay the money, then she will threaten to release the pictures or video. But I still have a problem with how he got caught in this. Don't deputy governors have security guards everywhere they go? This is a deputy governor, okay. And how did he get to the hotel from his house or from his job? How did he end up at the hotel? Did anybody force him to get to the hotel? Did they put gun in his head to get? I'm just asking questions so you understand.
It was a real trauma. Organizing.
And then I heard that the video is actually not recent, that they released it eventually because he refused to pay the 5 million shillings, which makes me wonder why he didn't alert the police as soon as the gang released him. Because if he did that, the police will say, we've been alerted, you know, some days ago that something like this could happen. We've been trying to prevent it. So there was nothing like that. And also he apologized. And I'm thinking, if you didn't do something, normally you don't apologize for something you didn't do. So after that, the man went to church and said that it was the work of the devil. He said that the devil had been defeated and the devil will not succeed. Amen, amen, somebody. Of course, who else will it be if not the devil? I'm hoping that you guys will tell me what you think happened. I just want to know what you guys think happened in this equation. But if you're a public figure, please don't go somewhere private with someone that you're not married to or someone that you don't know well. At the same time, if you're a lady or a guy that thinks it's okay to blackmail people, what happened to you? How do you sleep at night? How did you get to that point that you derive joy from blackmailing people? That's just wrong. Of course, I don't think the man is completely innocent. I'm just saying personally. But you know, when something like this happens, I think about the wife and children that would never get over the stigma that the whole of Kenya saw the video of their father completely naked. The man was completely naked in the video.
And right now, what matters to me most is about my family, which I really treasure.
So it's awful that people would do that. So like I said, I want to know what you guys think. Do you think this whole thing was a setup and he's completely innocent, or he actually had interest in the girl and he just didn't know that this would happen? Let me know what you guys think in the comment below. You guys don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Alright y'all, it's been real and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and if you're yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Don't you enjoy me? Please press the subscribe button. Press the subscribe button. Until next week, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace out.